So I briefly want to talk about Greg Abbott and his investigation in these local courts in the Dallas area and the possibility of them using Sharia law. If you're not familiar with the story, Governor Greg Abbott wants to investigate these courts for not abiding by Texas law, but more so governing its people according to Sharia law. And Sharia law is completely illegal in the United States because it violates religious establishment. If you don't know what Sharia law is basically like a moral code that governs every aspect of Muslim life according to Islamic teachings. Of course, you have the people who work within these local courts. I'm putting air quotes around it because they don't see it as local courts. They see it as like Muslim religious mediation centers. Of course, the opposing side to Governor Greg Abbott's investigation is like, hey, we have every single right to host these mediation centers. These are people who are coming voluntarily, seeking out guidance through the Muslim faith. Okay, cool. We got it. Okay, so here's why I completely side with Governor Greg Abbott. And it's because we're living in a time where tolerance has completely infiltrated our politics, our policies, our legislation. Notice I'm talking about policy and legislation because this isn't about the freedom to practice your religion. This is about when your way of life, your religion, starts to affect my way of life. You can't tell me that this isn't true because through tolerance, we have seen minority ideologies come into the majority and say, hey, like you have to believe this because if you don't, you're hateful, you're a bigot, you're racist, you're homophobic, you're transphobic. We have seen transgender ideology, transgenders being like 1% of the population, infiltrate the majority of Americans. We see it through education. We see it through trainings on how to be more empathetic to trans people. These policies have shaped entire institutions around minority ideologies through tolerance. Now we see this very controversial religion that really threatens Western culture coming through the party where this religion completely conflicts with their ideologies. That's how powerful tolerance is because it's like, yes, it conflicts with our ideology, but we also don't want to seem offensive. So here you go. Now, what Governor Greg Abbott is doing is he's being proactive. Why? Because we've seen this play out in Dearborn, Michigan. We have these residents of Dearborn, Michigan who are hearing a call to prayer 5 times a day that may conflict with their religious beliefs, but the local officials are doing nothing about it. They do nothing about it. Why? Tolerance. The dangerous part is when you have a majority that's saying, hey, this is affecting us and local officials are doing nothing about it, you don't have to establish Sharia law. The officials are too scared to address it and it's going to establish itself.